by David Pollack and Jesse Palmer. Guys, let's tee this one up. Season. He'll bring it out. It's Jones. He was looking for some running room, but not much to be found as he stopped at the 18. Running back searching for a hole. Didn't find a lot of room. Let's give him 2 out to the 20. While the Big Ten has expanded with this massive continent-wide geographical footprint, the Big 12 has been really shrewd in positioning and maneuvering for survival, and they look for opportunities to win on the field like they'll have today.
Yeah, and the Big Ten's kind of taking what the Big Ten wants and expanding and not really worried about anybody else. So if I'm the Big 12, I'm like, yeah, you ain't worried about me, but you're going to worry about me today and on the field, and I can make a statement and prove to some of the true blue bloods in the Big Ten.
I just love the stylistic matchup in this one, too, right? You think about the Big Ten running the football, defense, physical, and then Big 12, wide open, up-tempo, air raid offense. This one's going to be fun.
They'll snap it on first down from the 35. Use the play fake, now to throw. Pressure all over the quarterback, and down he goes at the 24.
Those are the types of plays that drive head coaches crazy because you practice these situations all the time. That's a bootleg fake. And part of the reason why they like to get the quarterbacks out on the perimeters because at that point outside the pocket, if nothing's open, all you have to do is throw the football across the line of scrimmage out of bounds, and it's an incomplete pass. He forgot to throw the ball, and because of it, he takes a massive sack.
They're going back to the ground. After the pickup of 9, it's 2nd and 1.
You want to make play calling easy for an offensive coordinator? Run the ball like that every play. I mean, when you can run that on first down and set up a short yardage on second down, it makes play calling easy. Every single call on that sheet is available here on second down.
Hauled down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down.
Nice completion here to this wide receiver, and you're going to see this receiver line up in different spots all over the field all game long. Defense has got to keep their eye on where this guy is because they know he's a big part of this offense's success.
Now he's got it all the way down to the 21-yard line, and they are threatening on first down.
And after giving up the long run defensively, they don't have a chance to substitute now. They've got to get ready to go because the offense is going tempo.
They make the stop after a pickup of 3. Balls at the 18. Looking to throw at Simmons. Pass rush, gets there, gets home, gets him down at the 23.
How about this defense coming out the gates? First drive, getting to the quarterback. They wanted to affect the quarterback, make him feel uncomfortable. Already 2 sacks on this first drive.
Right down the middle. Intercepted, and the first drive ends with a pick. He stopped, not much on the return, but a whole lot in getting the football.
I love the defense's approach on this drive. They didn't panic. They gave up some yards, but what did they do? They forced a third down, a predictable situation, played great discipline, broke on the football, and forced a big interception.
Finds his way ahead for 3 out to the 16. All right, guys, let's talk a little Indiana. You start the season top 25. Clearly, expectations are flying your way, but with that might come some roadblocks.
Well, I think you got to take every week and every opponent one at a time. The number beside your name doesn't matter right now. The number matters late in the season. So you want to start the season fast. You want to be gelling on offense and on defense. I think that's the challenge early.
Absolutely. Figuring out who you are. Obviously some talented pieces, well thought of in the top 25, but a lot of season to go out and prove it. Day one, game one. Make that first impression.
From their own 23, it'll be 1st and 10. Looking downfield on 1st down. The short hands, it's Staley. Building momentum, picking up a chunk of yardage, moving the chains out to the 34.
Out routes are very much about timing. It's got to be a quick, decisive movement from the quarterback. As soon as he sticks that foot in the ground, you know he's breaking out. Throw it right now so he can go make you a play. Great pitch, great catch.
And the Hoosiers will line it up on 1st and 10. They're looking for an advantage in the running game to the right. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it.
Well, he was trying to do it all by himself. At the end of the day, it's a tackle for loss.
I mean, the number of tackles he broke, at some point, somebody's got to get blocked to help the guy out a little bit.
Man, the defense was like a bunch of zombies on that last play. They just would not stop chasing that ball carrier.
That's caught. It's Staley. And he gets it to the 45-yard line, and that'll be a 1st down. That big pickup on what they call the drag route, but if you hit it on time, you can hit the turbo boosters.
And you've got to be accurate on the throw, too, Reese. Nice job by the QB there, putting it out in front of his receiver to make an easy catch and then advance it.
And those body blows really, really matter. Like, I want to be able to hand the ball off to my running back 10, 15 times a game. Make the defense tackle them, wear them out. Sometimes these 3 to 4 yard runs, later in football games, they turn into 5 to 15 to 20-yard gains just because of the body blow effect.
Really good job by everybody there. Well blocked, good run, and a 1st down.
And I love when offenses are not afraid to run the football consecutive times in a row or multiple times. I know everybody wants to air it out, but, man, getting that ground game established, making those linebackers and safeties come up and know that we're going to run the football, I like the way they started this football game.
The Hoosiers pounded the rock to move the sticks, now back to work. Here we go, here we go. He's going to run it. There he goes. Inside the 20-yard line, pushed out at the 18, and they're in business.
Now, he does a really good job with that mesh point. The mesh point is when he sticks it in the running back's belly. When he pulls it, he gets downhill quick to chew up some quick yards. Nice play early in this football game.
Now adjusting. Nobody open, he just throws it away, and it'll bring up 2nd down.
Like the job by the defense there in coverage. They took every option away from the quarterback. He was outside of the pocket, nowhere to go with it, so they forced the incompletion throwaway.
Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long.
The read off the RPO, and he decided to run the football, but man, you got to take care of that thing. Fumbles the football, the defense gets the ball back.
So he took a chance by using a timeout on the challenge, and it comes back to bite him. We'll see if he needs that timeout later. Motion from the wideout. One man in the backfield, and he gets it. Keeping it on the ground, trying to create a little space, and he was stopped in his tracks at the 3. They got nothing on the last play. It's 2nd and 10. Looking for a man. It's Simmons. Makes the catch. Goes out of bounds right at the 15-yard line, and boy, did they need a little breathing room. This offense tries to get rolling from its own 15 on 1st down. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. And he fights his way forward, gets away from one, but not much doing on that one. And the Rebels want to move quickly. Wants to go up top. Gets it to him on the screen. That's a nice pickup to give them some breathing room, and they've got it out to the 27. That was just a perfectly choreographed screen. The line got out on time.
A really good job of selling past and then kind of dodging the pass rush, getting it to the running back, and then let him do the rest. You got him in space, he'll pick up yards in a hurry.
How about these two running games so far? Dominance on the ground as we look at the first quarter stats. Let's see if the offenses can find a little rhythm here in the second. First play of the period, first down here. Looking to throw on first down. Catch in the middle. Look, this guy has some serious moves, and he tried all of them and still didn't get loose.
One of the things you love about this running back is not only can he run between the tackles, but he's also a weapon in this offense catching the football.
Picked up some yardage with that completion, now second down. Looking to fire. And he was hit just as he released it, and it falls to the turf.
And this offensive line's got to do a little better job, man. You've got to give your quarterback time to go through his progressions from go to 1 to 2 and then maybe make a play. And he goes off of his first target, and you can tell he did not have much time getting hit as he's trying to throw the football. You've got to protect your quarterback.
Got him downfield. Oh, he's got some space. He's at the 20. Run out of bounds just before he could get it into the end zone, and now they're set up first and goal.
And listen, the defense knew coming into this one, they were going to target him early and often. He is a weapon, and there's no mystery where the quarterback's going to be looking on critical down and distances. Let's see how they're able to cover him throughout the rest of this game.
Moving out of the pocket. And he just chucks it into the fourth row.
And I really like that decision by this quarterback. Listen, you've got a lot of downs here. It's first and goal. You're in scoring position. If you don't feel comfortable, throw that ball away. Live to fight another down.
Wide out trying to get it in. And he motors into the end zone. Touchdown, Ole Miss.
And the offense punches it in again, and we call his name again. That's 2 touchdowns now in 2 games with still more to be played. I tell you what, I think this guy's name will be called a lot more throughout the season. He's that kind of good.
7, Indiana, 0. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Indiana sends the offense onto the field. They're trying to put something, anything together to get that goose egg off the scoreboard, down 7-0. Handoff from the gun. Shakes off the defender. Banging, slithering, whatever it takes to get that ball up to the 32. Let's step back here and look at the big picture for Indiana. Everybody uses the portal to varying degrees. Sometimes you just fill the exact right hole that you want. And this team, as they start this season, not a ton of new faces here, Jesse.
They didn't, but I don't think it's because there was a lack of effort on the part of the coaches, David. I think they believe they've got the roster in place now to have success.
Yeah, because when you bring people in, a lot of times you tick people off on your own roster. So when you only bring a few in, you cherry pick some elite talent and some real concerns that you have. Sometimes it just addresses everything you need.
This is an offense that really relies on its running game on that second down call, giving it to the back, letting him find a way to go get it first.
It's 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line. Looking to pass. It's Nelson. They'll throw it to the back on the screen. Turning it on. They mark him out of bounds at the 42, and they're on the move.
there you go. You see, you don't have to throw bombs to get big plays in the passing game. Just screen it to your running back. As soon as he catches it, he gets upfield. And how about the downfield blocking by these linemen and the wide receivers as they rip off that explosive play.
Oh, there's the ball. He picks it up, still on his feet. They bring him down, but not only does he recover the fumble, he gets the first down.
Doesn't it always seem like that ball is on the ground for like 30 seconds? You got 17 guys running at it in slow motion. Like, I got to get the football. Offense, very lucky to get that football back.
Knocked out of bounds at the 7-yard line. The big run's going to make it first and goal.
And that's exactly how you draw it up. And that's why the option's so hard to stop. QB, man, draw the defense in. Look at me. I'm the first option. Bam. Next thing you know, he pitches it, gets a positive gain down the field.
And they will score. Touchdown, Indiana.
I think the days of running backs just running downhill are out the window. You better be able to do this. You see the playmakers slipping down the backfield, throw him the football, he'll handle the rest, get in the end zone for the touchdown.
And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Right, guys, got a final score on one of the more intriguing games this week. Washington found a way to pull out a victory. It wasn't vintage Huskies football today. Those folks in Seattle won't remember this one forever, but they will remember it was a W. Regardless the outcome today, guys, these are still two quality programs. Proof the sport is as healthy as ever.
Yeah, how about that? Sounds as if they had a good ball game there. Kevin, thanks for the update. Makes the stop at the 33, but it's a 15-yard gain.
Great job by the offense. Listen, if the defense is going to sit back in zone, you know what you got to do. Run those crossers across the formation. Those guys that are looking at the quarterback, they're not trying to pick up receivers all the time. Make those precise throws, right in those holes, get those first downs, get those big chunks.
Moving away from pressure. Got rid of it just in time. Good job to avoid the negative play and just get rid of that thing.
The offense just has not been able to find a way to get their rhythm going here in the first half. We just haven't seen it in the passing game. That was a really good example of it again. If they're going to score more points in the second half, they've got to make some adjustments here at halftime.
Throws for the tight end. He's got an open man. Plenty of room on that play, and they find their way to the 36.
Man, if I'm a defense, I got to find a way to get some more pressure on the quarterback or disrupt their timing and their rhythm. I can't give them these big chunk plays through the air. I got to be maybe a little bit more aggressive or do something a little bit different.
He's like a pinball with attitude out there, hammering ahead to the 30. The Rebels headed quickly to the line.
I like this idea by the offense going hurry up here. You just had a very nice run. Let's get back up to the line of scrimmage and go fast.
They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
How about that defense in the backfield, nowhere to go right away. You could tell they were playing the run game all the way, and they got in the backfield and got the tackle for a loss.
Let's see what they do on third down. Looking downfield at Simmons. Oh, they really could have used that catch there. Physical pass defense. It brings up a fourth down.
Well, this offense has gone his way early and often in this game. They've gotten into a nice rhythm. That time, though, the defense was expecting to throw going his way, and they put a really nice hit on him to force the incompletion.
Finds him out of the backfield. Just across the 20 with a first down at the 19.
Well, it's a heck with being conservative, right? I mean, that essentially would have just been a chip shot field goal with where they were on that fourth down. But they decide to go for it, throw it. They're looking for 6. They're going for a touchdown. They are being aggressive.
Now from inside the red zone. Shoots it to the left. It's caught. That completion takes them down to the 7-yard line, and they are ready to strike.
Man, this quarterback is having himself a day. Over 200 yards in the first half. It was hard enough for Palmer to get over 200 in a game, more or less in the first half.
Now he's going to glide away from pressure. And he'll race it to the house. Touchdown, Rebels!
And the offense breaks the tie, takes the lead, gains some momentum. How big is this, Palmer, now going into the half with the lead, with the momentum?
Well, they break the tie, but they also break their confidence a little bit now. The opponent now has to go into the locker room probably down, and they're wondering, what adjustments do we have to make? What do we have to fix? Because we've got our work cut out for us in this game.
Coming out with it, it's Moncrief. He'll go out of bounds at the 12, and not much doing on that kick return. They go to the Wildcat here, looking to take advantage of that extra blocker. They'll send the back in motion. On the direct snap, it's Staley. Fights off a defender. Defense played the Wildcat very well on that one, stopping them for a short gain. There's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the first half. What will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? Making side adjustments here. Dropping back, it's Nelson. Dances away to buy time. Rolling, throwing, looking right. They bring him down, but the big play will move the sticks.
And the quarterback knew exactly where he wanted to go with the football, had time, spins the ball deep. Nice job by this offense, understanding what the defense is giving them and creating the explosive play.
Wants to go up top on 1st down. Unloads to the wideout. Oh, he drops the football. He had him right down the gut of the field. Instead, it'll be 2nd down.
Not many receivers like to get hit. They just don't, okay? They're prima donnas. That's what they are. That's who they are. Nice job by the defender. You could tell he was catching the football. He was going to put a hit on him to make sure he had to think about something later, and you could see the ball pop out and fall to the ground.
He's knocked out of bounds at the 42. Solid pickup on that one.
Well, you hear all the time that the tight end's the QB's best friend. You saw a perfect example of it on that last play, right? 2nd down, you need to pick up some positive yards to keep this 3rd down manageable. Really nice job of executing there.
And the Hoosiers are at the line looking to convert on 3rd and short. On 3rd and short, they'll try to throw for it. Going to try to get it himself. Picks up the 1st down and gets down to avoid contact. This will likely be the last play of the half. Looking to throw on 1st down. Just couldn't find an open man. He'll get rid of it, and it'll be 2nd down.
Know the situation, know the game of football, right? When I start to get outside the pocket, I don't see anything there. I can throw the ball away. I don't have to take a sack, get a lost yardage play. I can just throw the ball out of bounds as long as it passes the line of scrimmage. We go on to the next down. No harm, no foul.
We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update. And the Rebels will kick it off to start the 2nd half. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Indiana has the ball back, and the Hoosier offense comes out ready to go. They start this 3rd quarter, 1-possession game, and hoping to get an early drive going.
This offense is ready, and they're ready to take the field here and see if they can get something established. They don't have to change everything and reinvent the wheel. They've had some successes in the 1st half, so let's get that continued here on the opening drive.
Yeah, and I love getting that break at half to go talk with my coaches and pick my offensive coordinator's brain so I know exactly what I need to do to attack this defense, and I get ball first.
As a quarterback, you've got to be precise when throwing these corner routes. You cannot leave the ball short or that thing is getting picked. So nice job by the QB putting enough air under the ball to give his wide receiver a chance.
And the defense makes the stop after a minimal gain.
Man, it's really hard to control the running game if you don't control the line of scrimmage. And how about the defensive line doing a great job attacking those guys up front, not open up lanes to run through. Nice job just nullifying that run altogether.
And he has a solid... before the defense bottles him up. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. The Hoosiers come to the line on third down, trying to keep this drive alive. A quick completion to the left, looking for the first down. Making a little bit of progress there. He gets it to the 40 before getting out of bounds. Love the way he didn't just run to a spot. He found the cushion in the zone and got himself open for the first down.
Yeah, and you're taught to find that space. You know, don't run right into a zone defender who's sitting there looking at the quarterback and looking at you. So much creativity with routes now of being able to just have subtle moves one way, come back the other way. Nice job by the tight end finding that hole in the zone.
After the productive first down play, it's 2nd and 6. Back to throw, it's Nelson. A little screen to the running back. Breaks into the open. They get him stopped, but the big gain has them on the doorstep. Let's mark it at the 13.
They executed that running back screen to perfection. Quarterback held on to it. He let the rush get to him. Offensive lineman got out in position, and the running back sold it too. Once he had the ball in his hands, he just had blockers and green field out in front of him. They pick up an explosive play on a running back screen.
From the red zone, looking for a space. He's got it on the run. Touchdown, Hoosiers! And with that, they've got the lead here in the second half. Field shrinks, tight end grows. Big targets, big results.
I've never heard it put that way, but you're dang right. That guy is so big. A lot of times you get a DB matched up on him. He can just post him up. A linebacker, he can run by him. So that's why these tight ends are so dangerous down here in this red zone.
He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, that they get him on the ground at the 20. The Ole Miss offense ready to go back to work. They took advantage of outstanding field position the last time they had it, and now they'll have a little more work to do to get on the board. A quick pass to the left. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that.
And what a job by the defense, seeing the quarterback throw the football, break on the football, no space allowed. As soon as he catches it, defender meet ball carrier and gets him on the ground.
Wants to fire on second down. Hit as he throws. Caught over the middle. It's Jamison. And he picks up a huge chunk of yards on that play before he's finally hauled down.
Well, how about the offense setting that play up? We've seen earlier in the game a couple shorter throws. They're just trying to suck those safeties closer to the line of scrimmage, anticipating that they would get an opportunity to take a shot. They called the
It's picked off, and they ruin the drive with a turnover. Bringing it back. He's at the 40.
And talk about being an impact player for his defense. That's now his second interception in this game. Time and time again, when they've thrown his direction, he's come up with a big play. And in a tight game like this, those 2 interceptions, that is massive for this defense.
Wants to throw. It's Nelson. Spits it out to the back. It's caught. Slippery slide. Find his way and ran away from the crowd into the end zone. Touchdown, Indiana!
How about that? His second receiving touchdown of the ball game. Find ways to get your athletes the ball. They'll do the rest. That's number 2. They better start playing some better defense. Number 3's coming soon.
Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Guys, let's take a look at what's happening in a great college football matchup. UNLV looks like it sent the JV squad out there today. An offense that can't move the sticks and a defense that looks disinterested. They're trailing by 19 to Akron. We'll circle back if anything big happens you should know about.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. And the sack all the way back at the 5.
All right, I like the aggressiveness. I want to be aggressive as a play caller when I'm coming out of my own end zone, when I got a little bit of space to throw the football, and you can tell they wanted to be.
And here's the 3rd interception of the night. Nice pickup on the return, but more important, they got the takeaway, and now they're in business.
Coming out of the tunnel in the 3rd quarter, this quarterback now is really struggling with his decision-making. 2 picks here in the 3rd quarter. This looks like Jekyll and Hyde.
And he'll finish the run and the end zone. Well, just as you would expect, that didn't take very long.
It didn't, Reese, and you've got to make great field position count. When you've got opportunities, you got to pay it off. And the offense took advantage, scoring a touchdown. Didn't have far to go, but they got the points they needed.
They're set to kick it off, and this crowd now ready to get behind them. And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. Ole Miss ready to send the offense onto the field. After giving up that score, now it's incumbent on this offense to kind of get a back and forth going, Jesse, in this game.
They got to put some points on the board here. There's obviously a lot of football to go, so it's not necessarily panic time just yet, but I'm getting the ball into the hands of my best playmakers on this drive.
I hear you, Jesse, but not panic time. Have you seen my defense? I mean, I'm not trusting them to get a lot of stops, so he puts a lot of pressure on this offense.
Man, it's nice having a QB that is going to hang in there. You could tell, hanging in there, he knows he's going to get hit, right? If I'm going to get hit, I might as well make a completion. Great job hanging in there, throwing the football on target, and getting the completion.
Throws to the tight end. A strike downfield. They finally get him on the ground, but he's got an explosive play for the first down. The Rebels will hustle to the line.
And after that long completion for the first down, did you see everybody sprinting to the line of scrimmage offensively? They want to go tempo right now.
The freshman brought down after a really nice run there. And the Rebels getting set on 1st and 10.
And how about that? Right after they get the explosive play running the ball, they're going right back to the line of scrimmage for some tempo.
Fires left. He caught it. So close to that end zone. He could almost taste it, but it'll be 1st and goal for this offense.
Well, offensively, they knew they were going to have some matchups they could take advantage of in this one, and all of a sudden, this quarterback has now over 300 yards passing in the game. Defensively, David, he has got them on their heels.
And he's been showing you a little bit of everything. He can throw it all over the field to all different receivers, to his tight ends, to his running backs. Really has the ability to spread it around, and now over 300 yards. Still some time left, and he can put up even bigger numbers. And, heck, go chase some awards, man. Get some postseason awards. Get an All-American. Just put up a day.
And the D deny them on 2nd and goal. Back to throw, it's Simmons. Touchdown, Ole Miss! Fired in from the red zone for the score. Sometimes we ask coaches about halftime adjustments, and they go blah, 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 blah. And then sometimes they make some good ones.
Sometimes that blah, 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 blah actually works, but it's working now. But it might be too little too late, but at least you got the party started.
They're getting set to kick it away, and that last score took a little oomph out of this crowd. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. The drive starts from their own 25-yard line. They go to the ground. Crosses the 30 to the 31, a 6-yard gain.
And winning first downs is a priority for a defense, and you can't get bludgeoned. You can't get physically beat at the point of attack. You know the percentages. It's usually pretty good on first down that they're going to run the football. So them getting that big chunk, getting in second and short, not a good job by this defense.
And he runs it in for the score. Touchdown, Indiana!
Man, he just makes it look so fun to play quarterback. Like, he's playing his own little game. He just scrambles around, takes off. Nobody can catch him all the way to the house for 6.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And right down the middle. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. And no chance at a return here. They'll start this drive at their own 25. They'll put this one in play. First snap of the drive from the 25. To the air. It's Simmons. Under fire. Incomplete thanks to the great defensive pressure there that sort of threw them out of rhythm.
Man, this quarterback is going to need an ice bath when this game is over because he is getting whacked. We've seen him go down. He's been sacked time and time again. He just got nailed another time on that last play. He can't wait for this game to be over.
The Rebels want to pick up the tempo. They can rely on this guy to pick up solid yardage when they need it, and he's out to the 43.
A nice job being gap sound by this defense. And here you go. Watch what this offense does. They'll get right back on the ball, and they'll go really quick.
Gonna take a shot. Just about had another one picked off. They have been way too reckless with the football, throwing it away 3 times already. And this offense just has to find a way to convert this third down, or else they are really in trouble. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down.
And he finally missed one, right? I mean, he's been pretty hot, right? 5 passes in a row. He's been moving the ball around different platforms, different receivers. Just done a really good job spreading the ball around, and he's human. He finally missed.
And they gambled in their own end, and now they give up really good field position.
That is a great job by this defense, coming up big on 4th down when it matters the most. You could tell they were dialed in. They knew they were going to throw the football. The defense was locked in on the quarterback. Great job defending the pass, forcing the incompletion on 4th down.
Well, that play didn't stand a chance. I mean, nobody even blocked that guy, and he's able to get the tackle for loss.
As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter. We've been treated to an aerial show by these two guys so far as you check out their numbers. As we start the 4th quarter, it'll take a pretty sizable comeback to win this one. And a chance to mull things over, and let's see how they start the final period here on 2nd down. To the air, it's Nelson. Now he's going to break the pocket. They've got to come up with a big play on this 3rd and long. He might want another play. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it. It's a mid-stride inside the 10. The tackle is made, but he's got it 1st and goal from the 6.
Defense just hasn't had an answer for this guy. He has been on point. This is about as good as I've seen him play at the quarterback position. And here in the 4th quarter with the big lead, he's still taking shots.
Touchdown, Hoosiers! And the route is on.
Well, this offense said they wanted to start the year all gas and no brakes, and that's exactly what this game has shown. From the very opening whistle, this offense has been in sync. They've been explosive. Defense has had no answer for them. This unit is going to give teams problems because of their playmaking ability all year long.
Ole Miss, 21.
The Ole Miss offense ready to go back to work. It looks as if this game is going to be one to just drag to the recycle bin, but the idea now is to finish strong and just take whatever happens in the rankings next week.
It's definitely too early to panic, but there's some bad feelings going on for this offense right now. You're way down on the scoreboard. I know we're still in the first half, but after that last play, it's pretty obvious. You can't run the ball. You're becoming a one-dimensional offense at a time when you need to be able to score some points. So either get it done through the air or you've got to be more physical up front.
Dropping back, it's Simmons. Grabbed over the middle, it's Watkins. And he gets the first down, but man, did he get the hit stick laid on his noggin.
And that's kind of crazy. I didn't think that would happen coming into this football game. I didn't think we'd get in the fourth quarter and just call his name. This offense, man, he is a big play, dynamic weapon. They got to continue to get him the ball more because he can make enormous plays for your offense.
Found enough room to get it into enemy territory. They're down at the 43-yard line. And the Rebels will snap it on 1st and 10. Takes a handoff. It's Jamison. A solid pickup there before the defense is able to make the stop.
Great offenses always stay ahead of the chains. That run right there, now you're in a good position. It's not 2nd and long. It's not 3rd and long. Now it's the whole playbook's open. The defense really has to honor run and pass on the next snap.
A little too much on that one, just out of his reach.
Well, this guy must feel like he's run into a buzzsaw in this game. He has been under duress all game long. That's a big reason why he's thrown multiple interceptions in the game, too. Nothing coming easy to him.
For the 4th time tonight, it's an interception. He goes down after the short return, but what a play to get the football back. They got the big fellas out there, a 3 tight end look on 1st and 10. Smart move to keep it on the ground. Good pickup on the ground, and they'll mark him down at the 39.
No mystery on that play. With the lead, we are going to run the ball. You know it's coming, and we are running right at you, right into the teeth of the defense, and they're still able to get a nice game.
The officials stop the clock for the 2-minute timeout, and the offense is that much closer to victory. And the Hoosiers with myriad options after that big pickup on 1st down. He'll keep it himself. Breaks the tackle. Still on his feet at the 45. Boy, did he look as if he was going to go. Gets it down to the 37.
And this QB is dialed in. You've already seen the passing ability to make plays down the field. But how about this? Running the option as well. The diversity in this offense, really hard to stop, and he's having a day.
Smashes through the tackle. They finally get to him, but what a play there to pick up the 1st down.
That's got to be demoralizing if you're the defense. You're trailing. You need to get the ball back. You got to get off the field, but you can't stop the run when they're going between the tackles. This defense is going to have to get a lot more physical, especially in the middle.
And the quarterback takes a knee.
And how about this, D? You think they're locked in and dialed into this quarterback and his ability to run the football? You've seen him make plays throughout this game. They know it. They're seeing it, and they're making sure that guy's not going to beat him.
Quarterback's just going to take a knee.
And a running game can be really hard to stop when you got so many guys that can do some damage. And this defense is taking some licks. This QB's made him look silly a couple of times, but they're starting to adjust. Gotta like that play right there, getting to him and getting him on the ground.
Both of these teams are high-caliber squads, but it sort of felt as if these guys had something to prove today, and man, did they go out and do it.
Man, they proved it, and they proved they were better. They thought they were better coming in. We were talking to them. They had a lot of confidence. They said, we're not ranked as high as we should be, and now they just showed the whole world. This squad is for real. We're going to be discussing them in the playoffs in the future, and they made a statement today, Palmer.
Yeah, that's the thing, David. To me, after watching that absolute beatdown, you can't help but think to yourself, this is a college football playoff caliber team. If they play like that, moving forward, if they put their A game together in all three phases, this is a team we're going to be talking about very, very late in the season.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.